told a customer his total and he started unbuckling his pants.
I've been a cashier for over 2 years now, so I've seen all kinds of weird, funny, and borderline insane things happen while working. Today has been super slow until I helped my last customer. He was an elderly gentleman just buying a few small items, so I greeted him and scanned his items, then told him his total. As I waited to see what his method of payment would be, he started unbuckling and unzipping his pants, and I was shocked, so I quickly looked away because what the heck. Then he quickly started apologizing and said, No, I'm not trying to be indecent or anything. I'm just wearing 2 pairs of pants and my wallet is inside. I slowly started to look back and I saw that he was, in fact, wearing a second pair of pants under the first and digging for his wallet. I just laughed awkwardly and he paid and started to leave. I told him to have a great night and he just said all right. In the most serious way, as if accepting my words as a command. The strange part was the top layer of pants didn't seem to be painting pants or anything like that, they were just normal slacks from what I could tell. Overall interesting customer compared to the rest of this night. It cracked me up and I think I'll remember this one for quite a while.
How to deal with rude people on Black Friday.
When it's a slow usual day in retail, I usually don't care how people talk back to me. I just want them out of the store ASAP. Black Friday was a different issue. The store had 2 lines. One that nearly reached the entrance, and another that had to loop around near the changing rooms. I was one of the assigned register people, and I'm doing my thing next to my other coworker who was also doing her thing. We were helping out both lines the best we could. While I'm checking out the lady in front of me her piles of sweaters and coats, asking her questions / paying with cash or their card / checking their rewards / the usual stuff, I keep hearing this woman behind her complaining about the wait. I don't make out details, but it's a lot of huffing, and every glance I made she was rolling her eyes. Finally, I print out the person's receipt and I thank her for her patience. Now I have to deal with this impatient a-hole. She walks up to the counter, slams her clothes down and says, "Did you really have to take that long? I want a faster checkout." I'm going as fast as I can. Well, do better. I'm not kidding. She said that. On Black Friday. And I lost it. Get out of my line. What? She, pointing to coworker, will be more than happy to help you when it's your turn after everyone else. Remember, the line was almost at the entrance, but get out of my line. I stared her down so that she knew I wasn't kidding, until she threw her hands up in the air and stormed out of the store. Was I in the right? Nope. Not even a little. But it felt so good. Especially since my manager didn't go after me for it and understood. FYI, she wanted 2 t-shirts.
Why can't I bring my own earrings and have you pierce my ears for free?
I work in a popular children's/teen accessories store known for free piercings with the purchase of a pair of piercing earrings. I'm the store manager, so I'm here all the time, and at least 3x a day I get this customer in person or on the phone. Customer: How much does it cost to get a piercing? Me explains that the service is free but must be with a pair of purchased earrings, with the lowest being $25. Customer: But what if I bring my own earrings? Me: We can't do that because ours come in a cartridge to fit the gun, and our legal paperwork doesn't allow for that either. It always becomes an argument at that point. For various reasons I can't shove some random pair of earrings through my ears for free. I hate the fact some people are so cheap they basically expect me to do unpaid work for them. I recommend several tattoo parlors that could do it to them and that would do a better job than me, and they never want to go to them because they are too cheap to pay a professional. I just want to lose it on them occasionally and ask them how anyone is going to make any money if people brought their own earrings and we pierce them for free. Or just tell them that if they're too cheap to pay someone to do it, then maybe they shouldn't get it done. To explain to anyone suggesting I do the piercing AMD offer the earrings as free, I can't do that. They have to purchase the earrings and I have to use those specific earrings. The piercing gun only fits proprietary cartridges with the earrings we offer for sale in it. Also, I have no delusions in thinking I'm good enough to pierce them any other way.
I no longer help out customers as much as I used to, and for good reason.
I work at an Atlanta-based cell phone service retailer, started 2 to 3 months ago, and have overall loved it and have exceeded it. I also get nothing but great reviews, and people always generally consider me very helpful, and indeed, I do try to be, but not as much as I used to. No, not at all. And that's because some customers ruin it for everyone else. Let me tell you a little story. It was once a late dark evening in September, and a couple walked into our store, looking to join our service. Everything was going well, we got along, I helped them out and showed them our selection of phones and plans. They both ended up buying new cell phones, and everyone was happy. I could have left it right there, but decided to be a good Samaritan and go the extra step, by asking the couple if they wanted help setting up their email. Bad idea. At first they eagerly said yes and thanked me, so I opened up Gmail on each of their phones and got started. The wife was able to set up her email just fine. But the chap on the other hand, he forgot his email password. We tried every way to reset his password or bypass it, but nothing worked. This is when, suddenly, all hell broke loose. The man started breathing heavily, almost hyperventilating, and his fists clenched up. He then suddenly screamed "fuck!" and got up and proceeded to smash his phone into the ground, while grunting and breathing like a wild beast. He then exited the store and continued to smash the phone some more on the open concrete, unless it was reduced to pieces. While I stood there half shocked, half confused, and half concerned for my own safety, I work all alone, his wife was just sitting there scrolling through her phone as if nothing happened, and just simply said in a gentle laughing tone, "I don't know why he's freaking out, hee," as if she was fully used to this behavior. I then handed her their bag and they went on their way. I just stood there alone for a minute, in the open silence, reflecting on what the hell just happened. And suddenly, I remembered what one of the people who trained me a few months back said to me in response to when I asked him what his main philosophy of dealing with customers is. He replied, "As soon as the customer walks in, I try to get them out of my face as quickly as humanly possible." At first I disagreed with him, because I value customer service. But now, I'm starting to think he was right.
My card declined? Here, take this SHT back.
So back in college I lost my job due to my school schedule conflicting with the hours my boss demanded I should work. It was the holiday season, so I decided my best bet would be to find a retailer that was looking for seasonal staff and look for another job in the meantime. I end up finding a very popular bath and body store in the mall that's hiring, you know the one. First few weeks everything is fine. I'm getting the hang of it, I know the products well, the discount is great and I haven't had any real wild Karen incidents. Until Black Friday. Black Friday I get scheduled for a 12-hour register shift. Not the worst thing I could be doing for 12 hours. Most people were pretty pleasant and just excited to get holiday shopping underway. Q Karen. The location I worked at was just over the border into the States from Canada. She immediately comes up to the register with probably easily $400 in merchandise and slams it down in front of me. I tried to remain pleasant and asked if she found everything okay and if she needed anything wrapped. This was the conversation, "MK Karen, alright, so we're looking to wrap all this up today." K, well that's your job isn't it? Am I supposed to wrap it myself? No ma'am, but sometimes people put these into other gifts so they don't always want them wrapped. Are all the same scents going together and being wrapped? Or is there another way you'd like them separated? K, are you actually a retard? Just wrap them. Yes ma'am, I'll get right on that just as soon as we complete the transaction. Your total today is X amount of dollars, would you be paying cash or card today? K, card. Did you put my discount in for coming from Canada? I'm sorry? We don't offer a discount for Canadian shoppers. I do apologize. K, you're lying, I always get a discount for being from Canada. Let me call over my manager and confirm that I didn't make a mistake. give me one moment. Calls over headset and manager tells me that's never been a thing. I'm sorry, but I spoke to my manager and we have not ever, nor are we offering a discount for Canadian shoppers. I do apologize for the confusion there. Fine. Just run my card and do something useful. Okay ma'am, just go ahead and slide your card for me and then we'll get this all wrapped up. Card declines. Speaking quietly, I'm sorry ma'am, do you have another form of payment? It says this card was declined. What did you say? How the fuck do you expect me to hear you over these people? Speak up. Speaking very loudly, your card declined. Do you have another form of payment? You really needed to announce that to the entire line? You can take all this SHT back. Karen then proceeded to pick up a lotion bottle, one of the glass spa ones, and whip it at my head. That one got her escorted out of the mall and banned by security. I, on the other hand, was fine, took off my apron and walked out. The money was so not worth it. Here's your gentle reminder not to be a DCK to retail workers this holiday season.
That time a customer tried to return things we never sold her.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was the assistant to the retail manager of a swimming pool store. We sold, as you might guess, swimming pools and swimming pool supplies. Anyone that has the misfortune of owning a pool or working in the industry knows that pool chemicals are a big part of pool maintenance and sales, and every shop has its own line of products and they are always better than every other shop's line of products, despite it really all being the same stuff. It was toward the end of the season and things had slowed down that evening. A few minutes before closing time I get a customer. "Oh good, you're still open." I internally roll my eyes. We all know that line. It's 5 minutes before quitting time, but I put on my best customer service smile. "Me, how can I help you?" Customer, and I use the term loosely, "I'd like to return these chemicals." Me, okay, it's actually a store policy that we cannot accept returns on chemicals. This was true, there were signs up everywhere and it was written on receipts as well. Customers in the past would purchase chemicals, use them, then return them after filling them with water or other substitute materials. So we had stopped accepting returns years and years ago. Customer, oh, well, can you make an exception? My pool just fell down and I don't have any use for them now. I'm just trying to recoup my losses. Me, feeling sorry for her like the sucker I was. "Okay. Do you have your receipt?" Customer, "No." Me, "Well, let me see what you have." She plops several canisters of various pool chemicals on the table. Me, "These are all open and half used. And they aren't my brand of chemicals. You didn't even buy them from me." Customer, "Can you give me anything for them?" Me, fighting the urge to get rude, "Sorry, can't help you." This must have been 10 years ago. I've moved on to a different industry and thankfully blocked out many of the painful memories of that awful job, but I'll never forget the audacity of that customer. Trying to return half-used chemicals that she didn't even buy from me.
Customer told me I wasn't doing the job well, dragged me to the till to serve her.
Busy Saturday, you know how it is. I also work in a toy/home store, with Christmas plus weekend, super packed. Made like 10K that day, lol. There was a queue of like 6 people, which isn't even that bad. I had one co-worker on the till whilst I was tidying the super trashed store. Karen comes up to me and bosses me around saying it's a shame that your poor coworker is sacrificed to the tills whilst you go about and do nothing. What? I go okay. She gives me an intense stare and grabs me to go to the till. I served her but gave her the slowest service. "Do you need a bag? We have reusable ones. Shall I bubble wrap these? Sorry, I didn't scan that item. Do you need your receipt?" My coworker was fine being alone, LMAO. My other coworker didn't show up. Short-staffed. People complain about having a real job until it inconveniences them. Rant over. I was so pressed by this.
Congratulations, you beat my price. Here is $272 discount.
I used to sell cars. The dealership I worked at said if you have an itemized quote that is legitimately less than us, we will match and beat it by $100. We did this because we priced super aggressively. I had one customer hear this and he said he was going to use it. I said that's fine. He placed his order for a truck that came out to like $55,000. He wanted what he wanted. After weeks and weeks of searching, he came in with an itemized quote, and he said, I got something that is less. I said, great, let me see it. After reviewing what he brought in, I noticed it was $172 less. I confirmed my math with him, and he agreed. I asked, how much time did you spend on this? He smiled. Every Saturday for the last 6 weeks. I nodded my head and said, well, looks like they are $172 less, so I'll go ahead and get your $272 discount put on the order. This guy made like $175,000 a year at his day job. Assuming he spent 8 hours a day, honestly, he probably spent time during the week shopping for a lower price. He earned $5.60 an hour for his efforts.
You will stay open and serve me.
So this evening I was closing up. A customer came in asking to sign up to a contract and have it added to his Wi-Fi one. We do phone and Wi-Fi plans, so I asked if he had a license or passport required to avoid fraud or people reselling or identity theft, and he didn't. So he went and came back with an ID card for a workplace. I told him a second time what he needed. So he huffed and puffed and said he'd get one and come back. He comes back with a citizen card. We can't accept those, they don't have the required stuff, and so I explain a third time what he needs. He goes off saying ID is ID, and I am required to serve him or he'll cancel his whole contract. Do I look like I give a fuck? And asks when we will close. I tell him 7 and he says he'll be back at 7. So I say that is when we close, and he turns around yelling that he'll be served and will come under the shutter if needs be. Now I'm picking up sketch vibes. He knew he needed these things the first time around. So I called a security guard, shop is in a mall, to come stand there at 7 while panicking. Guard and another one he called for backup stood there from my call until I closed. Guy did come back and start saying I didn't tell him and that I was to serve him and he was tired and wanted to go home. Same. Like GTFO dude, it's closing, so I sympathize and relate. OFC, he's acting all calm because I have security there. So he says he'll be complaining about me to higher up and leaves. Yeah, okay. Tell them you didn't have the required papers and verbally abused a minimum wage worker to the point where she felt she needed security there because of you. See if I care. And yes, I will be telling my manager about this in the morning.
Why do some people need to be angry about something?
A couple weeks ago I was helping check people out. I'm actually not a cashier, but I can do it if necessary, and was checking out a guy who forgot his wallet in the car. It wasn't super busy and I told him go ahead and go get it. There's 2 more cashiers checking people out and 1 lady in line. I'm at cash register 2. Meanwhile, my coworker at cash register 1 finished up and hit her button calling the next person to cash register 1. Now these registers are not separated. It's one long bar and we're next to each other. We could hold hands from our registers if we wanted to. So the lady comes down and sees me and looks as though she is about to set her stuff down, so I politely tell her she'll take you at 1 and gesture next to me, and my coworker smiles and says I'll get you right here. Well, instead of being a normal person and just putting her stuff at the next register, she says, well, you're open, why don't you want to check me out? I explained that I have a customer and he ran to get his wallet. She starts huffing and puffing saying, well, he's not even in the store. Again, she didn't have to wait for a register and didn't even have to take 2 steps to be at the appropriate register. So my guy comes back and we're checking out our respective customers. As the lady was leaving, she looked me in the eyes while telling my co-worker, "I hope you have a lovely day," her tone implying that she hoped I didn't. On the way out the door, she runs into my manager, who she recognizes, and I can see her looking at me while they're talking. The manager never said anything to me. There are so many moments in life that bring about unpleasant feelings, that I never understood why you would want to create your own rather than enjoying the peace.